Hello. Okay, I'm going to give a minute for some women and, well, probably some men will join this one too, to pop on live. And I'm going to take a second to share this in my group. So if you are watching the live stream, you might want to just fast forward probably about a minute and a half. Hi, Valerie. Okay. Let's see. Hello, everyone joining. I'm just waiting for some people to join live, and I'm taking care of sharing this in my Facebook group. Let's see, share. Share in a group. Okay, good. That should take care of it. Let me just give about another 30 seconds and then I will get started. Hello to everyone joining live. Hi, Valerie. Hi, is it Lindsay? Maria's here. Hi, Maria. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Scott. Okay. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. Hi, Maria. Nice to see you. I guess I can't really see you. Nice to have you here. Okay. All right, now that I got all those little details started, hello. Let me just settle in for a second, because this can feel a lot of energy around this. This is obviously a vulnerable topic for me, because I'm talking about something vulnerable that I experienced. So just going to settle in. And with these live streams, I don't plan them. I write very sparse notes of certain things that I don't want to forget, but I try just to settle in and just let whatever comes through come through. So if I pause for a minute to tune in, that's what I'm doing, because I haven't written this out or actually thought too much about it ahead of time. So this live stream is, what did I write down? Have you had or have a relationship with a narcissist? Thank you for the hearts. Hear me share about mine and about the information on this that God gave me to share. So, yeah, I'll just dive in. I want to first go back in time a little bit and just give a little bit of back history about me, so you are filled in when I get to the part about the relationship that I had with a narcissist. And the first thing I want to say, though, is I want everyone to know I don't use that word lightly. This person was a narcissist, a pathological liar. Those are not terms I throw around lightly. I see them thrown around a lot these days. And I think often they're misused. Someone who is actually a narcissist, it's a mental disorder, and they need psychiatric help. So sometimes I see this term thrown around at men a lot when I don't think it's necessarily what's actually going on there. So I just want you to know that when I'm using these terms, I'm not throwing them around and I'm not using them lightly. And there are, of course, actual narcissists out there. There are people who are narcissistic and pathological liars, and this is a real thing that happens. So if you follow me at all, you know that I've been on a significant journey around healing what I call the pain body. That's a term I took from Eckhart Tolle from his work. I borrowed from him. particularly the pain body that I had towards men. So I used to hate, 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 hate. I had so much anger and rage towards men. When I was 21, I think I was 21, I actually got a tattoo of a Girl Scout with a bloody knife, and what she killed were men. That's how angry I was at men. And there was a point in my life where I had to admit that I wanted a intimate, loving relationship with a man. I had been in denial about that for a long, long time. And when I finally admitted that to myself, I had to rectify that I was angry, very angry at men. And how could I have a loving relationship with men when I had so much anger towards men? Okay. Hello, everyone joining. All right, let's see, that might be a troll. We'll see. Hold on just a second. Hello. Okay, let's see if I can take care of that later. Okay, so I started on this long journey of healing the pain body that I had towards men. And over, I would say, the course of about 8 to 10 years, that's been something that's been a big part of my life. And I've unraveled this pain body I have in lots of different ways. I've used lots of different methods and modalities and tools. And I had miraculous, huge transformations in my relationships with men and my relationship with myself. I used to have a condition that caused sex to be painful, and that was healed. A lot of the rage I had towards men was healed. I started having relationships with men, and those relationships were good, but they were also difficult. There were things, I was often triggered. I would often be angry. I would often act out what I call sabotaging pain body behaviors. Like, one of my behaviors was whenever I would feel slighted or slightly hurt, I would withdraw my love and shut down my heart. So even though I had worked through a lot of the pain body I had, and I was now having a pleasurable sex life, I was now having good relationships with men, they still weren't great. And the honest thing is, I thought that was just normal. Because you hear it all the time, right? Relationships are difficult. It's just going to be difficult. You're going to trigger each other. This and that, relationships are just like that. And so I assumed that what I was experiencing was normal, and that that's how my relationships were always going to be. And then I met who I'll just call the guy. I'm not going to name this person. We met and we planned our first date, and I drove to meet him, and he opened my car door, and I was immediately overcome with two things. One was a really, really strong magnetic pull to this person, like very strong magnetic pull. And the second thing I felt was a strong, almost revulsion to this person, and I felt fear. And there was something in me that said, close the car door and run. But I didn't, because the magnetic pull was also very strong, and I was curious about it. And I thought to myself, well, let me just have tea with this person and just see what this is about. So because that magnetic pull was so strong, tea led into a 6-month relationship. And what I'm not going to be talking about in this live stream, because there is so much information out there about this, I'm not going to be talking about the traits of a narcissist. I'm not going to be talking about the impact really that a narcissistic relationship has on a person. There are tons of articles on the internet that you can read about and educate yourself about as far as this topic goes. That's really not the focus of this live stream. But I do want to just say a little bit, so when I get to what I really want to talk about, it makes sense for you. The main thing that was going on in my relationship with this guy was that he was lying about lots of things, lots of really, really important things. And I would get the feeling that I was being lied to. So something in my intuition would know. And I would ask him about it, and I would say, I feel like you're not telling me the full truth here. And then I would get gaslit. So I would be told that, you know, this wasn't what was happening. Basically, you get treated as if what you are feeling inside is not matching up with the reality. Even though it actually does match up with the reality, you're gaslit to believe that what you're feeling isn't reality, and then you feel crazy. And then I would also get shamed and guilted and blamed for even asking if I was being told the truth. So this was kind of the big mechanism that was going on over the 6 months. So I spent those 6 months feeling like I was crazy. I spent them wondering what was going on inside me that had me lack so much trust. Right? I thought I just couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust a person, and that was my issue. So there was a lot going on there. And then after about 6 months, I started to try and leave this relationship because I could see that at the very base, it wasn't a healthy relationship, even though I didn't yet know about that he actually had been lying. Then there was a situation that happened, and I'm not going to talk about the situation because there's actually an innocent person here that I want to protect. But there was a situation that happened where I basically got 100% definitive proof that everything that I thought was a lie had been a lie. At every little thing, every time I thought, I don't feel like I'm getting told the full truth here, it was actually true. So the issue is not that I couldn't trust him, it was that I wasn't trusting myself. I mean, obviously he was untrustworthy, he wasn't a person to trust, but the deeper thing was I didn't trust my knowing, my deep instinctual knowing. And now I know how trustworthy that is, and I completely trust that when it comes up for me. So basically, when I got this information that he indeed had been lying this whole time, and I could see the scope of the lies, and I could see the scope of the gaslighting that happened, it was stunning. Not as in beautiful, I was actually stunned. What stunned me was that I had been in this for 6 months. And what opened up inside me was a fire that wanted to know why. I wanted to know, was there something inside me that had drawn me to this person? What was that magnetic pull that I felt with this person? What was that? And why was it so strong that I followed it and I didn't listen to my knowing? And I asked myself that question, not from a place of blame, not like, oh my God, Sarah, I can't believe you did this, not from a place of shaming myself. You know, people sometimes get upset because they think it's a victim blaming question. And what I want to say is that I do not live in a world of blame. Like, blame is not something that I resonate with. So this was in no way blaming me. This was me wanting to know so I could heal whatever was inside me, if there was something, so I would never have to go through this again. And so that's just a question I would encourage anyone who's been in this kind of relationship, if you haven't asked yourself that question already, just to ask and see what you get. Not to blame yourself, but so you can heal and never have to do this again. I'm gonna take a sip of water. So I asked myself that question. Well, first, when I saw the depth of what had been going on in this relationship, it honestly, like I said, it stunned me. It practically knocked me over. Like I almost fell over when I really saw what was going on. And then that fire woke up, and then I asked that question, and I asked that question to God. Now, maybe you're not a God person, but I have a really deep relationship with God. And so I asked God, I said, please show me if there's anything inside me that I need to heal. That is what drew me to this person. That is what that magnetic pull to this person was. I said, please show me what that is. Then I was immediately drawn, my awareness was immediately drawn into the center, the deep center of my heart. I'm getting a little teary-eyed thinking back on this. So I was pulled into, it was like the deep, deep heart, into the deep crevices of my heart. That's where my attention was drawn. And I could see, feel, sense that inside the deep crevices of my heart, and the deep, deep of my heart, I still had pain body towards men. I still had rage towards men. I still had grief about men. I still had resentment towards men. I still had disappointment at men. And I was shocked. I thought that I had worked through all of it, and that the difficulties I had in my relationships were to be expected. So this was so deep in my heart, I hadn't detected it. But when I felt it, it was so powerful, it was so strong, it literally knocked me, this is what literally did knock me over. I fell to my knees and I began sobbing. And I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed. And when you really let yourself go into that depth of grief, what I was feeling was both the pain body, and I was feeling this grief that I was still carrying it. And when you let yourself sob, and this is something I had done many, many times before this, what it does is it breaks up the pain body congestion that you have in your heart. So where most of us carry our pain body is in our heart and in our pelvis, in our genitals, and for women, in our wombs. And so it broke up this last bit of poison, this last bit of pain body congestion in my heart. It broke it open from the sobbing. And when that last piece broke open and was released, I felt this enormous divine love open up in my heart. And I felt what mystics and the poets call the beloved inside my heart. And that presence of the beloved has never left me. It's, if you don't know this experience yet, thank you for the hearts. Oh, hearts. If you don't know this experience yet, it's like having God in your heart. That's how it feels. It's like having God in your heart. It's like having the very best friend in your heart, the one who loves you unconditionally, no matter what you do. This is the one that loves you unconditionally and will always love you unconditionally. And it's right there in your heart. And that's true for everyone. Everyone can have access to this in their hearts when you unravel the pain body congestion. At least that was true for me. And I've seen that be true for a lot of my clients. Someone's path might be different, but that was my path. And so that's what I share. And so when that happened, there was a few things that became clear to me. One was that magnetic pull that I had felt towards this person was the pain body. It was the pull of the pain body. And that the difficulties that I had had in my relationships before that were also still pain body difficulties. And that when two people have unhealed, unprocessed pain body, especially towards the opposite sex, if you're in a hetero relationship, if you have pain body towards men, or you're a man who has pain body towards women, you two are pulled to each other. So this person, this guy, obviously had an incredibly heavy pain body. And I could see that that is the magnetic pull that I had towards him, was a pain body pull. And so I don't know if this is true for everyone who gets in a relationship with a narcissist or a pathological liar, but I want to offer that up as something to be curious about and something to look at. Again, not from a place of blaming yourself, but just curious inquiry. What's inside me? Like, let me just be curious about it. So that was one thing that I saw, that magnetic pull had actually been a pain body pull. And then I saw that the difficulties I had in my relationships before that were also a result of pain body. And I knew, I just knew deep in my bones that I was soon going to meet a man and that we would have a really loving, really healthy, really easy, and I never thought relationships could even be easy, relationship. And I did. We met a month later. And I now have that. A really loving, intimate, easy relationship. It's so easy. It's so easy. We almost never process. We almost never have difficulties. And if we do, we work through them really easy. And I really believe now relationships are actually meant to be easy, and they actually can be easy when you unravel and heal the pain body. Let me look at my notes and see if I'm forgetting anything. Yeah. So that was the heart of what I wanted to share. I'm happy to take any questions. And I also want everyone to know that I do have a course called Healing the Female Pain Body. In this course, I teach everything that I've learned in my 10-year journey on this topic. It's open for enrollment. I will put the link in the comments of this Facebook live stream. I would love to have you. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out. And also know that I am available for private work. If course isn't your thing, if being in a course with other women isn't your thing, you can also reach out to me to talk to me about private work. That was really vulnerable to share all of that. So I'll stay on if there's any questions. If you have a question, write it in the comments. But also, it's so important, this is about the narcissist relationship, because that really was the final straw that let that last bit of pain body I had towards men out. But this magnificent gift of the divine love in my heart and the beloved in my heart, that is such an important piece for having a healthy relationship. Because my beloved in human form, the man that I'm in a relationship with, he is actually secondary to the beloved in my heart. And when you have the beloved in your heart, when you have this presence of divine love and the beloved in your heart, it fills you up. It has healed a lot of the kind of clingy behaviors that I used to have, because there's such a strong presence of love in my heart. And it makes the love that I share with my man in human form like icing on an already delicious cake. I hope that makes sense. That's not something I was going to say, but I hope that makes sense. You're welcome, Michelle. You're welcome, Megan. You're welcome, Valerie. You're welcome, Danielle. Okay, don't see any questions popping in. I'll wait just another second. Well, I'll wait 30 more seconds. So if you have a question and you're still typing it, just go ahead and hit send, even if you're not finished, so I at least know there is a question. While I wait for that, let me just drop. Okay. So in the comments, I just dropped the link for the course. So that's where you can read all the details about the course, and that's where you can enroll. And again, send me a PM if you have questions, or you just want to pop on the phone and see if the course is a good fit for you. Okay, well, I haven't seen any questions. If you're watching the live stream and you have a question, you can drop it in the comments and it will notify me, and I'll be happy to come back and answer. So I hope that this was helpful for people, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.